Hello and welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner right here on the Westminster Cable Network. I'm Steve Brink, your host of the show. We got a great show for you today. Joe Tisler is going to be our player interview for this week. The DB had 5.5 tackles and a forced and recovered fumble in last week's game against Carnegie Mellon. We have Therese with her pack report as well. We're going to find out who's on top of the NFL Pick'em Challenge standings. I know I am. And also we have Coach Hand in the studio today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the CMU game last week and also talk about Adrian this coming Saturday as well. But before we do that, let's take a look at the first half highlights from Carnegie Mellon. Game 2 of the Titans season got underway in Pittsburgh on Saturday for the CMU home opener, and Carnegie Mellon quarterback Kevin Mulkern gets it started by hitting the big tight end Wisniewski down near the goal line, but Joey Tisler knocks it loose and Mike Cashone comes away with the football. Big play early on for the Titan defense. A few possessions later for CMU, Robert Gimson, the junior tailback, a nice 10-yard pickup right there. Joey Tisler with the tackle for the Titans. Then on this play, a couple plays later, Gimson again on the double handoff. Nice move splitting the defenders right there. He's going to pick up about 20 on the play inside the Westminster 20. And then a few plays later, down on the goal line, 3rd and 1, Jason Fridley stops Travis Civic at the 1. That's going to bring up 4th and goal. And don't tell me 2 weeks in a row, the Titan defense with another goal line stand. Josh Weiss with the tackle. Titans big goal line stand right there. Now 2 plays later after they flip sides for the quarter. First play of the second quarter, Nick McCloskey's going to get stuffed in the end zone. Carnegie Mellon goes ahead 2-0 on the safety. Then next CMU possession, Mulkern going to find a wide open Jonathan Klein for a touchdown. 13-yard strike, CMU up 9-0. Then a fluke play right here. Myers under center, going to throw it to McCloskey. It's going to flip up off his hands and into the hands of All-American Aaron Lewis as he's going to take it in for the score. CMU would go up 16-0. Next CMU possession, kind of a freak play right here. Officials, after talking it over, said he fumbled. It looked like Gimson was down, so break for the Titans. But the Titans could not convert, and then Gimson right here, a nice pickup. Gimson rushed for over 100 yards again against the Titans. Now Mulkern back to pass, and he's got Gimson again. Another big pickup of 27 yards. And finally on the final play of the half, Mulkern going to find Wisniewski right here for a CMU touchdown, 24-yard strike, and CMU would lead 26-0 at the half. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. And now, Coach, on that first possession of the game, we saw on the highlights there, Joe Tisler made a really big play on their tight end on that deep pass down the sideline, and Joey came up and knocked the ball loose. And that was really a big play because Cashone recovered that in the end zone. If they get that, that's a touchdown. Yeah, that was a big play on Joey's part. It was a smart play on his part, get the ball out, and he really showed a lot of guts there. Now, for the second week in a row, your defense came up with another first quarter goal line stand. Talk us through that series, because that was a long drive for CMU, but your defense really came up when they needed to. Yeah, that was even bigger than last week. It was a longer drive, and it's a tendency to get a little bit tired towards the end of a drive, and the defense responded, and that's a big thing. Obviously, you don't want to let them get to that point, but bottom line is we kept them out of the end zone. And then right after that, you guys flip sides for the quarter change, and then 2 plays later, you guys get stopped in the end zone for a safety on the run with McCloskey. But as a coach, when you're backed up inside the 5-yard line, like right on the goal line like that, does your philosophy change as a coach? Do you just say, hey, get a couple first downs and let's punt, or what do you do there as a coach? Well, our goal offensively every series is to get a first down, and you're going to win the field position battle if every time you get the ball, you get a first down, and you end every series with a kick. And if you do those 2 things, you're going to win the field position battle. At that point, we had given up a lot of field position, and the ball inside the 5-yard line. You want to get a first down is your ultimate goal, and hopefully you're going to minimally get enough to get to the 6-yard line so that you can run a regular punt and get good coverage on it, so that you can help get that field position back. And that safety was really a big momentum change in the game because, you know, they get the 2 points and then you guys got to turn right back around, punt it to them, and then your defense, which was out on the field for that long big goal line stand, has to go right back out on the field. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was a huge turn of events. I mean, the momentum was shifting in Carnegie Mellon's direction, and we didn't do anything to get that momentum shift back. You know, whether it was on offense at that point or, you know, on the kickoff team, you know, when we actually punted the ball from, you know, using our kickoff team, and then you know, defensively, you know, we didn't come up with a play when we needed to.
And now, Coach, Brett Myers back, started his first game of the season, and you know, how would you assess his performance on the afternoon?
Oh, Brett did a fine job. I mean, he's certainly a very good candidate to you know, continue to be the starter for us, and he's a pretty headsy player. And
certainly that interception wasn't really his fault on that play where it bounced up and they took it in for the touchdown.
Many things went wrong on that play.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a look at the second half highlights now and see if Westminster can jump back into this game.
Heading towards feeling great? We'll help you get there at Lawrence County Chiropractic. You'll get the best care possible since we use the latest in technology and equipment to get you on the road to recovery. You can also take advantage of the massage therapist on staff. So stop by or call for an appointment at Lawrence County Chiropractic today. Walk-ins are welcome and most insurances are accepted. Lawrence County Chiropractic in Newcastle's Giant Eagle Plaza on Route 422.
Sooner or later, it's going to happen to you. You arrive home late. There's your starving family asking, what's to eat? And you have nothing ready. That's when Augustine's frozen pizzas can come to the rescue. 6 varieties of ready-to-bake favorites made right here in Newcastle. The smells of roasted garlic and fresh mozzarella will soon be coming from your oven. The solution to your next food crisis is right in your local grocery aisle. Augustine's frozen pizza. Freeze it today, bake it for a snack or a meal tomorrow.
All right, well, after some technical difficulties, now we're going to check out the second half highlights from the Carnegie Mellon game right now on Coach's Corner. After Westminster was forced to punt on their opening possession, CMU will take over, and Travis Civic with a nice 24-yard run right here to get things started for CMU on their opening possession of the second half. Then we're going to see Kevin Mulkern, the QB, going to give to Ryan Phillips. Phillips with a nice pickup right there on first down. Mulkern now back to pass. He's going to scramble, and he is going to pick up 15 yards for another CMU touchdown. Carnegie Mellon goes up 33-0. Then Westminster possession. Kevin France, nice 11-yard pickup right there, but Westminster couldn't do anything with it. They were forced to punt again. Now, big hit right here. Check out Jordan Blinn on the hit. Kevin Mulkern sacked for a loss of 11 yards. CMU recovers, but they would be forced to punt. Now, Westminster possession. Jason Nagy, nice run like right there. Good second effort by the freshman. Picks up 10 yards on the play. Kevin France now under center. Pass is going to go to Jason DeCello for a 10-yard pickup. Another Titan first down. That was a third down conversion. Then Kevin France under center once again. The freshman going to fake the throw, run for 8 yards. Titans in business now in the fourth quarter. Nick McCloskey's going to get the carry right here. And he is going to pick up 10 yards on the little pitch play. Nice run by the freshman. Out of bounds around the 30-yard line. And then Kevin France is going to find the senior, Jake Buzzard, number 9, right on the right of your screen, for a 7-yard pickup. Going to get swarmed by 3 Carnegie Mellon defenders. And then Kevin France going to take it in for a 21-yard touchdown run. The only score for the Titans on the day. Final score in this one, CMU wins 33-6. So Carnegie Mellon wins 33-6 over the Titans. And Coach, on that talk right in the start of the second half, you guys got the ball first, but you got stopped, and then CMU came down and got a touchdown right away. Talk about those first 2 series and how important they were, because that really kind of killed all the momentum, you know, to let you guys, you know, not get back into the game a little bit.
Yeah, that was another opportunity for us to get back in the game, and they came out and made a stop. Although offensively, it seemed like we were starting to get a little bit of pep back. We didn't get a first down, but we were taking it to them a little bit better at that time. And then, Carnegie Mellon just came out and ran the ball well on us.
And they had 313 rushing yards in the game. What were they able to do against your defense that made them so effective running the ball?
Well, I'll tell you what, they came off the ball. I mean, their offensive line did a nice job. Their tight ends, their tackles, are some of the better ones that we're going to see. And they have a stable running backs that ran hard, and you couldn't arm tackle them, that's for sure.
And on the flip side, you guys 85 rushing yards in the first game, 120 last week. What do you guys need to do? A little bit of an improvement, but what do you guys need to do better to get that running game going on offense?
Well, it's just playing together as a unit. I mean, we have a real young offensive internal. The internal part of our offensive line, as well as our running backs, are very young, and at times our quarterback is young. So it's getting them to mesh together, as well as continuing to dabble in some new things to help the running game.
Now, quarterback freshman Kevin Franz came in late in the game, and he really was in against the CMU's second string, but he did a nice job, got the touchdown drive for the Titans. And do you think we'll see him for maybe some spot possessions in the Adrian game coming up this week, or do you think we're not going to see him really too much until the end, maybe?
No, Kevin's not going anywhere. He's still around. Yeah. He's still he's a good quality quarterback, and we're continuing to work with him as well as Brett on being the leader of our offense.
Now, Coach, another thing I want to talk about as far as defense is concerned, the third downs. The guys having a little trouble getting off the field on third down, and then this Adrian team coming up, very good on third down conversions, a very high rate. What do you guys need to do defensively to make sure you can get off the field on third down?
Well, you have to give them a third and long situation first of all, and that's something that we've always prided ourselves on. Defensively, is that we are able to play good third down defense, whether it's third and short or third and long. The problem is we're having too many third and mediums and shorts.
Now, a lot of coaches see big improvements from week 1 to week 2. What do you think that your team improved on from week 1 to week 2, and what areas do you think that they maybe regressed in or didn't see much improvement from?
Well, I mean, we need to make sure that we're stopping the run better. I mean, 300 yards on the ground is unacceptable. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We improved in the turnover game, but yet those just have to be eliminated. We improved in as far as our ability to keep our heads in the game. We just have to continue to improve in a lot of other areas too.
All right, well, Coach, thanks for being here. We're going to talk with you a little bit more about Adrian coming up in a little bit, but right now we got Therese Marzlik's Pack Report right here on Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm Therese Marzlik, and I'm here with your Week 2 edition of the Pack Report. As always, we are going to start out with our overall standings. On top are the Thomas More Saints, who are tied for second place. The Bethany Bison are in second, as are Washington and Jefferson Presidents. In third place are the Teal Tomcats and Westminster. Waynesburg and Grove City still remain winless and are all tied up for last place. Now let's flash back to last weekend's games. First, we will start out with the Bethany Bison, who faced Ohio Wesleyan. Bethany had an exciting and well-played game on Saturday, setting many players with new career highs. Quarterback Brent Owens had another fabulous career game for the second straight week. Owens had 20 completions for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Matt Cruz caught a pass for a 9-yard touchdown, taking the score to 21-7 going into the half. Senior T.J. Parker also had a huge day, setting new career highs with 12 receptions for 156 yards and 1 touchdown. And Brett Clough had a career high game with 85 yards and a touchdown. On defense, the Bison were led by Cliff Anderson, who had 9 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and a recovery of an onside kick. Bethany scored 2 touchdowns in the final 47 seconds to pull out the 34-28 comeback win. This was Bethany's biggest comeback win in school history and their first win on the road since 2002. Moving on, the Teal Tomcats lost once again after they traveled to Albion College. Quarterback Billy Blankenship was 18 for 34 with 175 yards and a score, while wide receiver Brett Hellman led all receivers with 7 catches and 76 yards. On defense, Logan Maley led the Tomcats with 8 tackles and 2 sacks, as Chris Lorber added 7 tackles and 1 sack. It looked like a victory for the Tomcats going into the fourth quarter, but Albion scored 14 unanswered points in the final quarter, coming back with the score, Teal 20, Albion 24. Westminster took a beating as they traveled to Carnegie Mellon University this past weekend. The battle was even as both teams ended the first quarter scoreless, but Carnegie was able to tally up 26 points before the end of the half. Quarterback Jason Nagy ran the ball for a team-high 43 yards on 8 carries, and reserve quarterback Kevin Franz had 41 yards on 4 attempts, including the team's only score, a 21-yard keeper with 5 minutes remaining. Defensively, Jordan Blinn posted a game-high 14 tackles, a forced fumble, and a sack for 11 yards. The Titans were just not able to control the ball against CMU. Carnegie produced 40 plays for 300 yards in just the first half, compared to the Titans' 21 plays for only 60 yards. The final score, Carnegie 33, Westminster 6. Washington and Jefferson became the first team since 1983 to shut out Hanover with a 35-0 win. The shutout was the first for Hanover in 232 games. Quarterback Bobby Swallow had an outstanding game with 18 of 20 passes completed for 210 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kevin Matthews caught an 8-yard pass for a touchdown, which marked the 3rd straight game the Presidents have scored on their first possession. Defensively, David Gillitz led the Presidents with 7 tackles and a fumble recovery. In the first Pac Conference game of the season, Grove City lost their home opener to the Thomas More Saints. Grove City's quarterback Andrew DiDonato threw for 188 yards for 15 of 24 passes. Stephen Mercer had a standout game with 5 caught passes for 71 yards. He caught a touchdown and ran for a score, as well as throwing a 2-point conversion to Dan Jeltz. On Grove City's defense, Justin Fowler blocked an extra point, taking him to 3 for the season, and Chris Schumenberger intercepted a pass and ran for 58 yards to set Grove City up for their first touchdown. On the Saints side, Trevor Stellman connected to Chase Weber on a 16-yard pass in the fourth quarter to seal the victory against Grove City. Lawrence Colbert led the Thomas More rushing attack with 89 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown. Defensively, Thomas More added up 36 tackles, with Mark Carlisle and Brand Steinmetz recording 14 tackles each. Steinmetz also added 2 blocked kicks, a field goal, and an extra point. It was a close game, but Thomas More came out on top with a final score of 21-20. And last but not least, the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets fell to the Shenandoah 20-10. Waynesburg was in the lead at halftime 10-0 when Shenandoah got only 25 yards of total defense in the first half. Waynesburg rushed for 97 yards, 73 of which came from Ryan Abels, who also scored the only touchdown on a 1-yard carry. Quarterback Chris Smithley completed 8 of 17 passes for 100 yards, but threw 3 interceptions in his first collegiate start. Defensively, Mike Serwin led the Yellow Jackets with 10 tackles and a sack. Now it's time to look at the offensive, defensive, and special teams players of the week. First, we will look at the offensive player of the week. The award goes to W&J's Bobby Swallow. The sophomore from West Branch High School in Salem, Ohio, completed an incredible 90% of his passes after connecting 18 of 20. He accumulated 210 yards and 4 touchdowns. Swallow set new single-game career highs in completions, yards, and touchdowns. Now for the defensive player of the week, the award goes to Thomas Moore's Brad Steinmetz. Steinmetz, a sophomore from East Central School in West Harrison, Indiana, recorded 14 tackles, 2.5 for a loss of yardage, and 1.5 QB sacks. He also blocked a field goal attempt and an extra point attempt with the win over Grove City. And for the special teams player of the week, this week it goes to Bethany senior linebacker Cliff Anderson from West Green High School in Sycamore, Pennsylvania. Anderson received an onside kick with 41 seconds to play to set up the Bison with a touchdown they needed to win the game. He also had 9 tackles, 2.5 for losses, and forcing Ohio Wesleyan to fumble. Congratulations to all the players of the week. Now it's time for, yes, you guessed it, the Fantastic Five. Here are the top 5 performances around the conference. Coming in number 5 is Thomas Moore's Mark Carlisle. This linebacker had 14 tackles against a close win over Grove City. Number 4 goes to Steve Minton of Teal. Minton had 20 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Number 3 goes to TJ Parker of Bethany College. The wide receiver had 12 receptions for 156 yards and a touchdown. At number 2 is Westminster's Jordan Blinn. This linebacker had 14 tackles, a forced fumble, and added a sack for 11 yards. Well, that's all That's all we have for the Pack Report this week. Over to you, Steve.
Thanks, Teresa. Now we're joined by Westminster defensive back Joe Tisler, Mr. California himself. And Joe, I got to ask you, being all the way from California, how did you find a school like Westminster? I know you probably tell people this, they ask you this all the time, but how did you find it?
Yeah, it is a freaking question, but first of all, Westminster found me. And, you know, they had this great idea. They're going to go to the #1 high school in the nation, the St. Bonaventure High School, and they're going to say, we want your free safety. And they did all that work. I said, I'll come play football for you.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're glad to have you here, Joe. But now let's talk about that opening drive of the CMU game. They had that big pass to the tight end down the field, and you came up and you knocked the ball loose. What do you do as a defender on that play? Do you try and knock it loose, or do you just kind of go for the tackle and hope it comes out?
That situation is kind of unique in the sense that I got beat. It was my guy, so I had to do something to make up for that.
Okay.
I was like, thinking in my head, I can't let them score the first touchdown on me. So, you know, I come back, punch that ball out. But yeah, it is something you think about when, you know, you're chasing somebody down. It goes through almost every defender's head. I'm forced to fumble this, turn this thing around, do it positive for us.
And now, what do you guys need to do as a defense? Because, you know, get 35 points given up to Allegheny, 33 to CMU. What do you guys need to do better defensively to improve, especially against a big team like Adrian coming in this week?
Tackle. We need to tackle better. You know, been plaguing us. We did get a little bit better in the CMU game, especially in the first quarter. We were tackling better, but dead feet. We're not running our feet through people. We need to tackle better. Bottom line, you know, because we're there to make the plays.
And now, I asked Jake Buzzard this same question last week. As one of the captains on the team, what do you say to the guys, and in particular your defense? You know, after a game like the CMU game, what do you say to those guys afterwards and during the week in practice?
Something I stress with my defensive unit, DBs, and the whole defensive unit is swagger. You can't lose that as a defensive player, especially DBs. I think is one of the hardest positions to play. And if you're going to worry about every time you get beat, you're never going to be a good player. It's got that swagger. Never lose it just because you got beat once or twice. Just have it. And now looking ahead to this Adrian team, you know, an offense that hasn't done much. Now they've only scored, you know, a handful of points on the year, but you know, this is a team that you know, is very balanced. Had 167 yards passing last week, 166 rushing. What are you guys going to do as a defense, and what jumped out at you on film watching this team? What I expect Adrian to do is stretch us like CMU did. They had a lot of success on the perimeter doing those jet sweeps, and Adrian's a fast team, fast athletic. I expect them to stretch us to the perimeter on the run game and vertically with their pass game and make us play the game. If they start power running, it's not good for the Titans. That means you know, they're trying to run the clock out or something. So if they're running the perimeter, that's what I expect them to do.
All right, Joe, thanks for being here this week on Coach's Corner. Good to have you, and good luck this week against Adrian.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another short break, and we'll be back with Coach Hand for the final thoughts on Coach's Corner right after this.
Wouldn't it be nice to take a trip to Mexico? The sun, the sand, and of course the food. Now, if you're like most people, you can't just go to Mexico. But the good news is that a taste of Mexico is right in your backyard. El Canelo has everything you need to have that authentic Mexican experience. Located on Wilmington Road, right across from the McDonald's, you can have a delicious meal all while relaxing to the sounds of Mexico. So go ahead, take a vacation. Visit El Canelo in Newcastle today.
Ice skating, what a great form of exercise and fun. And there's no better place than Hess Ice Rink in Newcastle. Interested in figure skating or hockey? Come in and be part of our Learn to Skate program, open to all ages and skill levels. Hess Ice Rink, the home of the Hess Hockey Association and the area's largest competitive figure skating team, open every day. Hess Ice Rink welcomes all ages to come and enjoy the excitement and sport of ice skating. Let Hess plan your next birthday party or occasion. Hess Ice Rink on Mitchell Road in Newcastle.
Why do dogs chase cars? It's the tires. We love them. And Tire Express loves tires as much as I do. Plus, Tire Express is the kind of place you can comfortably send your grandmother. Tire Express is great, with dependable tires and everyday low prices and honest service. And Tire Express is as fast as me, Chico. They get you in and out in a hurry. That's why Matt's been in the tire business for over 25 years. That's 175 in dog years. Tire Express, often copied, never equaled. When it comes to tires, they're the top dog.
All right, welcome back on Coach's Corner. I'm now joined by once again by Coach Hand. And Coach, looking ahead to Adrian this week, this is a team that, you know, the school hasn't played in a while, and players aren't familiar with. How do you prepare differently for a team like this that you don't really know a lot about?
No, I mean the only thing is you don't know the competition, so you don't know exactly how good they are. You know that they were 8-2 last year, but you don't know that, you know, how good their opponents were. you have an idea because you've heard of reputations and you've heard, you know, how good some of their opponents are, but you prepare the same way. And honestly, you get a little bit more nervous because the unknown always makes everyone a little nervous.
Now, looking at this team on film, what has impressed you about this Adrian team so far? Watching them on film and stuff.
Speed. Yeah, they have a good amount of speed on both sides of the ball. They definitely are fundamentally sound in everything that they do. You know, they have a good amount of size too. But you know, honestly, I mean, most teams we're going to play are going to outsize us, and that never concerns me as much as if someone outspeeds you.
Now, one player on this defense that they do have, a guy named Taz Wallace, who led the nation in tackles last year and is back for another season and leads the team with 30 tackles already. What are you going to do? How do you when you run the ball, knowing that he's going to be in the middle of every play? How do you prepare as a coach for that?
Well, I mean, he's you know, he's right in the middle of every play, as you say. So you know, we have a hat on him every play, and he's a good linebacker, good quality linebacker. They run a defense that basically, you know, a little different than some. You know, most teams are gonna try and bounce stuff to the sidelines. They're gonna try and funnel it more back into him. And obviously we're going to try to mix it up and get inside of them and get outside of them.
Now, we talked with Joe Tisler about their offense a little bit, and they had a very balanced attack last week, but they do turn the ball over a little bit. And what is your game plan going in this week against their offense, so you can try and, you know, shut down the run or make them one-dimensional in any way?
Well, actually, you know, every team that we face, I mean, we go into the game thinking we need to shut down the run. But the reality is this team wants to show that they're athletic too. So you know, they are going to run some plays that they are. You know, they are athletic. You know, like some of the sweeps and some of the outside zones, and throw the ball downfield. And he's not afraid to throw the ball downfield, and that's why he's thrown 5 interceptions.
Coach, real quick, fill in the blank. What will the Titans need to do this week to be successful?
Well, the Titans are going to need to be more successful offensively and carry off of defensive momentum when we do get it. And the defense needs to hold firm early on and then gain momentum off of the offense and feed off one another.
All right, thank you. Well, Coach, we're going to take another short break, and then we'll be right back on Coach's Corner for the goodbyes.
Hi, I'm Tanya Flynn-Warminski at Flynn's Tire and Service Center. With gas prices going sky high, I have a great money-saving tip for you. Make sure your tires are properly inflated. That will save you up to 3% in gas mileage. You can stop into any Flynn's Tire and Service Center, like the one on Wilmington Road in Newcastle, and we'll do that for you for free. You can also check us out on flynnstire.com, our website, for some more money-saving tips.
All right, well, I want to once again thank our guest this week, Joe Tisler, who had 5.5 tackles last week and a forced fumble and a recovered fumble in the loss to Carnegie Mellon. Therese, great Pack report as always. We'll see if I can do a little bit better in the NFL Pick'em Challenge in the upcoming week. I told Coach I'm not going to lose that, and I stand by that. And Coach Han, thanks again for being here, and we'll see if the Titans can get win number 1 of the season as they host Adrian College this weekend at Bury Stadium. We'll see you next week on Coach's Corner.